Mill tried to make us jealous but ended up getting jealous herself. By user Tina Skyscraper _3222. I was going to post this on Just Normal but feel like it fits better here. Mill has always been bitter that I took her son away from her. She's the queen of negging and I am often her number one target. She loves to make me jealous, sends pictures of her new cars, sends pictures of her new house, sends pictures of her designer handbags etc. saying isn't it great I can afford all this. Mill didn't invite us on vacation last summer. She invited and paid for her other son, his GF, and the GF's sister to go. She bought them designer souvenirs and sent us pictures every day of their vacation captioned I bet you're so jealous. Not 3 months after she excluded us from her vacation, my parents invited us on their vacation. We accepted. Mill was furious. Jealousy is not a good look on her. She threw a tantrum saying that she was losing her little boy and that she wanted to be the best mom in the world. She was so jealous that my mother is getting more attention than her. She cried about how she never sees us and how we've always shown blatant favoritism towards my parents. The best bit of all this, it was at this moment so decided to tell her that we are moving 5 hours away, to my parents' city. Stepdad stole $60 worth of change from me so I stole $200 from his wallet, by user Darwin Watermapuza. This happened a couple of years ago when I was about 13 or 14, I'm 16 now, but I just thought about it. I used to have a piggy bank that counted the change as I put the coins in there. And I remember I had around $60-something worth of change in the bank and I had left it on my dresser once because my mom was gonna take me to Walmart to trade it for cash after school. When I came back from school the bank was gone and I asked my mom about it and she tells me my stepdad cashed it out himself and that he would give me the cash back and I'm like okay. About 2 weeks go by and I never got the cash back so I start asking about it and my mom says he kept the cash because it makes up for all the haircuts and gifts he has got me. So one day when he came home from work we were gonna have a barbecue anyways so he was outside and he had his wallet and phone on the table outside. He carries a lot of cash so I waited for him to go back inside and I took $200 from his wallet and went back inside to my room and I hid it in my sock drawer. I remember him asking me and my mom what happened to the money and my mom didn't believe that I would steal from him so she just said that the wind probably blew it away because his wallet was outside. My middle school was right beside a shopping center that had Starbucks, Chick-fil-A, and Wendy's so every day when the bus would drop me off I would go to any of those places for breakfast until my $200 ran out. Non-stop debt calls for previous number holder, by user Ryan7600. Years ago, back when you had to change your number every time you changed your cell phone carrier, I started receiving a lot of calls for the previous holder of my phone number. The worst part is they called at crazy hours, starting around 6 and going most of the day. They refused to believe they got the wrong person. I guess they assumed I was trying to default on a debt. So finally I pretended to be the person they were looking for and I asked if there was a phone number and extension I could contact them with. I took that number and called a bunch of moving companies asking for quotes and using the phone number he had given and the name of the guy they thought I was. I knew a lot of these companies sold the numbers to spam call lists and things. A few days later I got another call from the debt collector that went something like this. Mr. So-and-so, I want you to know I didn't appreciate your prank. I have had to change my extension within the company because I am getting so many calls. Me, you mean it's bothering you to get non-stop phone calls for somebody that isn't you? You could have tried harder to tell me you weren't Mr. So-and-so. Me, you could have listened to me when I said I wasn't. I never heard from them again. I spent a year playing Baby Shark on repeat on my sister's Spotify so it would be the #1 song on her Spotify Wrapped, by user Soccer Girl. My 2 sisters and I have a good thing going, we each pay for and share several streaming services. It's a great system that has enabled all of us to have access to most major streaming services for around $20/month each. Last December, my younger sister was upset that one of her top songs on Spotify was a song that I like and listen to a lot. She brought it up with me and essentially told me to stop listening to Spotify so much because it was technically her account and she didn't want my songs to appear in her Spotify Wrapped. I told her that is not how our system works and if she wanted to back out, she could. Otherwise, I am free to use it as much as I want because I pay for it, too. She wasn't upset enough to back out of our agreement, but she did make a point to start watching Netflix, Hulu, etc. using my profile instead of hers just to annoy me. When I brought it up with her, she used my own words against me and told me that we're all sharing, right? Fine. Cue the revenge. My sister works at a credit card processing company and has to keep her phone in a locker while at work as a safeguard to prevent the employees from saving people's credit card information. I, on the other hand, work from home. So, for the entirety of 2022, I would open Spotify, turn my volume down, and play that god-awful Baby Shark song by Pink Fong on repeat. We're talking at least 4 times a day every workday, sometimes as many as 30 times. A few days ago, to my younger sister's dismay, Baby Shark was her #1 song for the year by a long shot. The #2 song wasn't even close, it had around 1/4 of the listens Baby Shark did. Pink Fong was her #1 artist, too. She was definitely more upset than amused that I had rendered her Spotify Wrapped unshareable, but she did find some humor in it, and she appreciated my dedication. My older sister and I certainly found it hilarious. The best part, it sparked a conversation that ended with my younger sister and I essentially making a truce and agreeing to relax a bit and not intentionally annoy the other person. Couple decided to steal a deeded parking space, by user JFK9W5D. Thanks to you/human_suitcase for suggesting I cross-post this here. I work in a place with a deeded parking garage, each space is owned by a resident. But we only have 75 spots, and 300 units. If you don't have a spot, you gotta park your car on the street or find a parking garage in the neighborhood. Had one sweet old lady, I'll call her Granny, who owned a Mini Cooper and a parking space to go with it. Another couple who rented a unit did not have a parking spot, and took to planting their economy car in her spot. When Granny complained, the renters would just say they were entitled because there were so many empty parking places, so Granny could park somewhere else. What the heck do they not get about deeded parking? This continued until the day the sweet old lady decided to be not so sweet. Pulled her car in front of the 2 grifters' renters' car and parked bumper to bumper. Put a note on their car saying parking in this space is $150 a day. Please leave a check with the concierge. So the 2 grifters' renters showed up at my desk bitching about their car being blocked off and actually expected me to tow Granny's car off. I had to re-explain that deeded parking meant that I could not tow a car from Granny's spot any more than I could rearrange furniture in her apartment. It's her land, she owns it, you abandoned your car on her property, talk to Granny. So after 20 minutes or so of the grifters' renters bitching, I called Granny, even though it was early in the morning. She came down to the desk in her housecoat and slippers with her dog in tow. They begged her to move her car. Granny told them it would be $150 bucks, leave the check with the concierge. They kept bitching. Then she told them it would be an extra $50 for waking her up in the morning cause they claimed an emergency. Then they asked her how long before she left the garage. Granny told them, dearies, I'm retired. I'll leave my spot when I'm ready. And the price just went up to $150 a day, plus $50 for waking me, and that will be in cash. Leave the envelope with the concierge. I'm walking my dog and I'll move my car when I have your rental fee in hand. Not only did the renters never park in her spot again, but Granny got her cash. As an added bonus, the 2 grifters' renters bitched so much that word got around and I didn't have to deal with that issue for another 2 years. Edited from the other post on https://www.reddit.com/r/tales from the front desk/comments/z6ubj/couple_decided_parking_space/. Cleaned up some spelling and filled in the story a little bit to clarify questions that kept popping up in the comments thread. Thanks to all the users over there who helped me with questions.